We begin with some breaking news this evening. The southbound side of Interstate 95 closed in the Camden County area for a shooting investigation. Drivers are being diverted at the East 10th Street exit in Woodbine to US 17 and then getting back on I-95 at Harriet's Bluff road ramp. This is creating a huge traffic jam. Authorities say this all started this afternoon when police confronted a man walking along the highway with a rifle who then shot his dog and himself. We're working to learn more and we'll keep you updated on air and online as we do. WSAV is your local election headquarters. A major development in the redistricting effort in South Carolina. The state Senate has voted down a special session that would have allowed legislators to draw new congressional maps. This is just the latest and so far the most local chapter in the ongoing redistricting battle nationwide. It comes in the wake of a recent Supreme Court ruling on racial gerrymandering. State lawmakers wanted to alter all 7 of the state's congressional districts, only one of which is Democratic leaning. Members of the state House had voted to let lawmakers return after the regular session ends this week to consider redistricting, but the vote to return failed in the Senate 29-17, 2 votes shy of the 2/3 needed, with 5 Republicans joining all Democrats in rejecting that plan, including Republican State Senator Tom Davis, who represents Beaufort. Reaction to that vote, pretty split along party lines. South Carolina's Democratic Party praising the vote. Senate Democratic leader Brad Hutto said in a statement, today's vote sends a clear message that South Carolina should not be dragged into another unnecessary and divisive redistricting battle driven by Washington insiders, adding that South Carolinians expect lawmakers to focus on issues impacting them on a daily basis, not an outside political agenda. Meanwhile, the State Attorney General Alan Wilson, who is running for governor, said President Trump and the Supreme Court made it clear that states like ours have the opportunity and the authority to redraw congressional districts in a constitutional way. Governor McMaster must call for a special session. The time to act is now. Back in Georgia, one gubernatorial candidate making the rounds across the state today as early voting continues. The Secretary of State, Brad Raffensperger, made a stop in Savannah as part of his 6-city Standing for Georgia tour. Raffensperger met with voters to discuss his platform, including cutting property taxes and creating more jobs. Raffensperger also highlighted wages in the state, saying that many jobs are already paying well, so raising the minimum wage would be unnecessary.
Great paying jobs. It's pure and simple. That's my focus.
Would that include raising minimum wage?
Don't need to, because we have great paying jobs. You go up and down the I-16 corridor, they're starting people at $25, $30 an hour.
Raffensperger is part of a crowded field seeking the Republican nomination for governor, including names like Lieutenant Governor Burt Jones and businessman Rick Jackson. Early voting in Georgia ends on Friday. Election day is 1 week from today, May 19th. Hutchinson Island in Savannah rapidly growing with new residential areas and hotels popping up. Safety is on the minds of Savannah leaders. WSAV's Isley Herschel joining us now with how the city plans to get ahead of this.
The assistant chief with Savannah Police tells me how Hutchinson Island's population is growing. Because of this, the Savannah Police and Fire Department is looking to build a joint building on the island. The building will help provide extra police and fire services to Hutchinson Island. Currently, police and fire either use the Talmadge Bridge or a boat on the Savannah River to get to the island during an emergency. Savannah's Fire Chief William Handy says Hutchinson Island residents should be confident that even though the building isn't there yet, they will still get police and fire services.
It'll be provided every single day, 365. So I don't want residents to think that there's a delay in their services being provided to them. We do understand there are things that happen with the bridge. We do understand inclement weather. We prepare for those.
This process is still early in its stages of development. Savannah city officials told me in a statement that they don't yet have the property or the budget for this project. Chief Handy says the goal is to have the project complete in the next 3 to 5 years. Isley Herschel, WSAV News 3 on your side.
Isley, thank you. The U.S. Coast Guard Southeast says 2 people were rescued near the Savannah River, allegedly trying to enter the country illegally. Officials say a boat crew from Station Tybee found 2 people in the water near the Savannah River and brought them to safety on Saturday morning. Authorities say the 2 people were transferred to U.S. Customs and Border Patrol for further investigation. It's not yet clear where those 2 people were coming from. Savannah Mayor Van Johnson asking tourism leaders to sit down and talk about growing concerns over how tourism is impacting life downtown. WSAV's Nikaya Harris joins us now with details on what he's proposing and how the industry is responding.
Well, Ben, the mayor says tourism is a major part of Savannah's economy, but he's also pushing for conversations about how to balance that growth with the people who live downtown every day. He's written to the city's tourism advisory committee, asking them to start working through what he calls a better balance.
Everyone wants to live in Disney World. No one wants to live in Disney World.
That's how Mayor Van Johnson describes a growing tension in Savannah between a booming tourism industry and residents who say downtown activity is starting to affect quality of life, especially at night. He's now asking the city's Tourism Advisory Committee, which includes Tourism Leadership Council CEO Michael Owens, to begin working through those concerns ahead of a broader plan he expects to bring before City Council this summer. The mayor says the city is now looking at ideas like entertainment districts in designated operating areas to try to better manage that balance while still supporting tourism.
I think looking at an entertainment district is a great idea. We have long believed that that was a great idea.
Owens says part of the challenge is that some concerns involve activity in public spaces that is already protected under law, limiting how far regulation can go.
I think some of these things that we're talking about now are really difficult to deal with. There's a lot of laws involved in it. There's a lot of protections that people have. When you want to talk about somebody playing a guitar in Whitfield Square, well, that's First Amendment protected activity.
He notes not every concern raised downtown translates into something that can be resolved through policy action. Owens tells WSAV reaching an agreement will take time as leaders work through what can be regulated, what is protected, and what actually needs to be addressed.
We need good policy that protects the rights of everybody involved, whether it's a homeowner or whether it's somebody engaged in commercial activity and providing jobs for other people. Striking that balance is difficult and will probably take a little bit more time.
For now, city leaders and tourism stakeholders say they are open to having conversation. Owens says the industry is open to addressing real concerns, but he also says officials are still trying to clearly define exactly what the main issue is and that reaching agreement between all sides is going to take some time. However, Johnson says the city may ultimately move forward with its own plan. Nakia Harris, WSAV News 3, on your side.
Nakia, thank you. Statesboro City Council beginning its discussion on the city's fiscal year 2026-27 budget today. So the first draft of that budget is headlined by a potential $3.835 million increase. A homeowner whose house is valued at $250,000 could see an extra $375 increase to their annual property tax bill. So the increase is not expected to be long-term, but rather a one-year bump, as the city says the higher taxes will be offset next fiscal year thanks to incoming revenue from the floating local option sales tax, or FLOST, passed in November of 2025. The city manager, Charles Penny, says this increase is something the city attributes to the loss of approximately $2.75 million from Bullock County following the dissolution of a fire district last July.
We're not blaming, it's just a fact. And so if we don't do this, the only way I can balance that budget is I'm gonna have to cut 40 positions in city government. And we have 360 employees. The majority of them in the police department and in the fire department.
This budget is just a draft. A public hearing is set to be held on June 2nd before budget adoption is set for June 16th. The Georgia General Assembly approving the state budget last month, and today Governor Brian Kemp signing the $38.5 billion spending plan into law. The budget includes tax relief, school literacy funding, and major infrastructure investment. $70 million will go toward literacy coaches in elementary schools, while $12 million will help reduce pre-K class size. More than $2 billion is set aside for infrastructure projects, including $100 million for rural bridge repairs. The plan also includes $409 million for a new regional mental health hospital and $5 million for the 988 crisis hotline and mobile response teams. Any bills not signed or vetoed by tomorrow will automatically become law. The governor says he expects to finalize the list by the end of today.
Now, Time Saver Traffic, sponsored by Arrowhead Clinic, the accident doctors, where it pays to get well.
Of course, I-95 southbound in Camden County still experiencing issues because of that active police investigation. But along 204 heading westbound through Veterans Memorial Parkway and out toward Georgetown, experiencing some delays due to an accident along that stretch. But overall, our drive times are improving. Just be careful out there because of some of those wet roadways. We have more showers in the forecast for Wednesday, but mainly dry for Thursday and beyond. We'll talk about that and a hotter weekend coming up.